I've got a letter from a young man who, for much of his life, has used porn and experienced PIED, porn induced erectile dysfunction. He's tried quitting many times and has several times gotten good streaks and experienced great benefits, but inevitably he continues to relapse and return to his old ways. Anon writes, "Hello, Noah. Hope you're doing well. I'm 24 years old. I want to share my story with you. I know it's a little long, but as a younger brother, I want to share this with you. Noah, I've been struggling with PIED for the past 4 years. I first experienced it in 2019 when I was with a girl whom I liked then, but I couldn't get an erection. I felt humiliated. I told her I couldn't get it up due to stress, and she understood. I didn't understand what just happened. I was a healthy, good-looking guy. I did not smoke, I did not drink, I was regularly working out and had no stress as such, so I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I've been there, man. If anyone watching this video has read or seen or heard my story, you know that it's very similar to this, except it was back in 2008 instead of 2019. And all of those emotions that you describe experiencing, you're trying to come up with some explanation first for your partner and then for yourself, and coming up with an excuse for your partner that you know is probably not true, and then just wanting to be able to have something to say to her, to have some explanation that won't result in her thinking less of you or in her thinking less of herself and thinking she's not attractive enough to arouse you. It's a very painful situation, especially before you know what's really going on and what the actual cause is. After 2 months, I came across a video on YouTube about NoFap and then discovered YBOP, Your Brain on Porn, and from there, your book. Fast forward, I read everything and I started my NoFap journey. Good. I'm glad that now, rather than in 2008 when I was experiencing what you describe, there are those resources out there. There are those answers out there. And that book, I wrote it nearly 10 years ago now, but still stand behind everything I wrote there. We know some more now, and I know more now, both from personal experience, from reading, continued research, and from working with hundreds or in excess of 1,000 men by now and seeing their journey and how that process went for them. So I've learned a lot more, but that book is still a great foundational place to go. And it's free. You can get the free PDF from my website. Just follow the Linktree links down below in the description. And if you want the paperback version, you can buy it for dollars on Amazon. But other than that, it's free. 1 month went by, and I was doing great, but then I relapsed. I thought I would be back on track soon, but I kept relapsing for 4 months straight. I sabotaged my relationship with that girl because of my low self-esteem. It's the lucky few, or maybe the strong few, who are able to completely abstain and stay porn free once they've had that realization you described. No matter how powerful and potent that realization is and that initial commitment is to stay porn free and to heal and to never go back, so many people end up going back anyway, re-entering that cycle again and again of being triggered to use by whatever it might be. It might be loneliness, frustration, stress, boredom, opportunity, arousal. And then during understanding and listening and hearing that little voice inside you that says this isn't right, but continuing to act on that urge anyway. And then afterwards, of course, being filled with regret and perhaps desiring something to comfort you in that moment so that you're not just wallowing in shame. And for many of us, the go-to source of comfort is itself porn. So it's just a vicious cycle, and I understand what you're experiencing. Worked with many people who've experienced much the same thing, but the good news is I've exited that cycle myself, and I've seen and helped many other men exit that cycle and develop stable, porn-free lives and wonderful romantic and sexual relationships. So it is possible as long as you don't give up on yourself. And I'm sad to hear that your struggle cost you that relationship. It sounded like, from what you wrote, that it had a lot of potential to be a healthy one. But I don't believe in one right person forever for each of us. Even though it was not something that was going to last for the rest of your life, even though it ended, I do believe that she brought value into your life, and hopefully you brought value into hers as well. And because of your experiences there, you'll do different by yourself and by your next partner and have a better and healthier relationship in the future. And hopefully one without the poison that is an active addiction to porn, and with more transparency and honesty, because you never said, at least in this letter, if you actually talked to that partner about what you were struggling with, the PIED and the compulsive porn use. And when you don't talk about that, your partner still knows that something is wrong, especially if you're not able to have sex. But without actually being able to address the real issue, without understanding each other and being transparent and honest with each other, it's hard to maintain a relationship like that. And it's scary to open up and to say, hey, this is what's going on with me. It's ugly, but it's the truth. But if you do muster up the courage to have that conversation, you can allow that person to affirm that despite all of this ugliness that you may be struggling with, they care about you enough and want to be with you enough to support you through that process. And that's a beautiful thing when it happens, and it can bring two people closer together than ever. Again, after watching your videos and with sheer determination in January 2020, I started my journey. This time it was much easier as I was so occupied with my academic work that I did not think of porn. 1 month in, I started flirting with a friend of mine. We always had a spark, but I never had the courage to confess my feelings. It's amazing how you suddenly seem to find the courage a few weeks in to a streak of sobriety from porn. My life was changing. I was doing great academically. I got placed at a renowned bank. My face was glowing, and finally I started dating my friend. People were complimenting me. I was socializing and felt like I was alive for the first time. That's a beautiful thing. And getting porn out of your life doesn't magically make everything else in your life fall into place, but it does remove that big obstacle that your porn use was impeding you with. And that can feel magical. It can feel like a superpower when you're finally free from those shackles that have been holding you down and holding you back. You feel light and free and capable and confident in who you are. But then COVID happened. I had to come back to my hometown. I started relapsing again. To cut it short, I lost my job. I lost the relationship and I started my own business, and despite doing well, I just didn't have the will to continue. Next, I started preparing for one of the toughest exams in the world as part of my career. I was neither disciplined nor focused. I couldn't clear the exam in my last 2 attempts. I was so focused on not relapsing that I kept on relapsing again and again. This addiction became the center of my life, again. Yeah, I've seen it happen hundreds of times, that you get a good streak under you, you start seeing these incredible benefits, but then you're not prepared for the days or the weeks when things aren't going so well. Maybe you're not feeling so great, or you lost your job, or a worldwide pandemic happened and you have to move back to the hometown that you feel stifled in. And those urges return. And when you're not prepared for that, it's very easy to open that door again and invite that cycle back into your life and lose all of those great benefits that you had accrued. But it doesn't have to be that way forever. And as long as you are able to develop the tools to keep yourself porn free, even on those days when you're not feeling great, when life isn't going well, and you're able to remember that this is a part of you and this is a danger that's going to be there probably for the rest of your life, you can walk that porn-free path and live an amazing life. And it doesn't have to be the foremost thing in your mind all the time. It just has to be in your awareness, like you're hiking along a mountain path. You don't have to be intensely focused on the danger of falling off the path and falling down the mountain. You can focus on enjoying the journey and on hiking and looking at the sky, but you have to be aware that that drop-off is there. Or if you lose track of it, close your eyes, start daydreaming too much, you could slip and you could fall. This back and forth cycle, it can last for years, It can last for decades. It can last the rest of your life, but it does not have to. It can end. A big part of it ending is acknowledging the fact that you're not able to do this just on your own, that you do need some support. And I want you, Anon, to find that support, whether it's with me, whether it's with my personal coaching or the groups that I run for support and discussion and coaching, or with therapist, counselor, someone else, 12-step group. Find what works for you, what resonates with you, but just invite that support into your life, because if you try to do this on your own, I'm not saying it's going to be impossible, but you're going to make it harder on yourself than it has to be. And a lot of that growth happens when you start having the humility to admit, hey, I do need help with this. I do need some guidance. I tried everything from putting on blockers on my phone to joining forums, and went for 10 days of Vipassana meditation, but nothing seemed to help me. Those 10-day Vipassana meditations are hardcore. I can't say it's necessary in porn recovery because I didn't do it, and you did it, and it didn't seem to help all that much because you ended up relapsing afterward anyway. But props to you for going and completing the entire 10 days. That shows strength of character and willpower that you're able to commit to that and actually follow through, because those 10-day Vipassanas are no joke. After every short streak of a week or so, I would relapse. The major reason for relapsing was that I had isolated myself for my preparation. I stopped working out, quit social media, and did not socialize at all. I felt like I was on a self-destructive streak. From a charming person and a fitness freak to a dull, overweight individual, I lost myself. But in June 2023, I decided it was time to break this cycle. I started working out again, meditating more regularly, and connecting with new people at the gym. Fast forward to almost 20 days ago, I decided to go on a trip with my friends. I was meeting my friends after almost 3 years, and I thoroughly enjoyed their company. I had no thought of porn or masturbation. After this, I decided to take a solo trip. On this trip, I met a beautiful girl. There was an instant connection. Things flowed very naturally between us. We talked for hours, explored places, and ended up kissing and making out. As usual, I did not have any erection. She asked me about it. I told her that I had little sexual experience, which is true, and I needed time to get comfortable. But this time there was a sense of calmness in me. I was confident that now I was ready to come out of this addiction. That's really great that you could open her up to her about that, at least to that extent. I know it's not the whole truth, but I often recommend that you start with those baby steps at least and keep it to the truth, even though it's not the whole truth. It is true that you have had little sexual experience, or that you have a past history of traumatic sexual experiences, and that you need time to get comfortable and build comfort with someone before you can feel ready to have sex. And that's all true. And that can start to open that door to talking and conversing about this and communicating about it in a healthy way. And I'm proud of you for being able to say that much. It's been 6 days since I returned, Anon writes, and we are still talking and flirting. I genuinely want to fix myself for her. I don't want to ruin yet another relationship. I have no urges to watch porn or masturbate. I want to have something real. I intend to tell her the entire truth after I complete the 60-day mark. I am in a flatline as of now. A couple of things from that. First, the fact that this budding relationship is motivating you forward is a good thing. But that you said, I want to fix myself for her, is a bit of a red flag for me. Because if you place your foundation on another person, especially a romantic relationship that's just in the development phase, that's not a very stable foundation. Anything could happen. Her ex-boyfriend could come back into the picture and she'll ghost you, or maybe, you will tell her about this porn thing and she won't be interested in being along for the ride as you recover. So it's not a stable foundation. It's worth using as extra motivation, but the foundation of this should be you doing this for you and for the betterment of your own life and your own romantic relationships. And no matter what happens with this woman, this is still an important journey and something that you're going to continue attacking and building on for yourself. And I don't think there's any reason to wait till the 60-day mark to tell her. I know that it's a scary thing. If you click on if you go to my website, myliferebooted.com, something like that, myliferebooted. What is it? You'll find my website in the Linktree links in the description down below. And if you go to the blog section of my website, you'll see the written version of this video. And there you'll see a link to another video I made about how to talk to a partner or a new person you're dating about PIED and recovery. And there's no reason really to wait until the 60-day mark. I know it's scary, but delaying, putting an arbitrary date on it, I don't think is actually going to help. I think what will help is being honest and transparent as soon as possible and building your relationship on that foundation of honesty and vulnerability. Noah, please, as an elder brother, advise me how to navigate this situation, because I know I will need time to recover and the road ahead is bumpy. Please guide me. Well, I'm happy you're once again on the upswing. I don't want you to fall off the mountain again, and I think you will. And that's a bit of a spoiler because he also sent me an update before I could answer and make this video. And he did fall off that mountain again. And I don't want to see you continue that cycle over and over again. And so I really strongly encourage you to find more community support, find more guidance, work with me as a coach, join the support and discussion group that I run. We meet several times a week. Most people come once a week. It's a great chance to just plug yourself into an understanding community, make some new friends who will help keep you accountable and support you and motivate you throughout this process, and work as a team rather than working alone. The other thing I recommend is getting into the My Life Rebooted online course that I have created. It guides people through every step of building a stable and secure porn-free life. And if you commit yourself to that course and commit to that journey and take it step by step, you can build sobriety from porn in your own life. So check those out. Links in the link tree. You can find that in the description to this video. His update was, "Hi Noah, hope you are doing well. Today I'm on the day 38 of my journey and I relapsed. I was alone, sleep deprived, and a little bored. Old patterns triggered, and I ended up watching porn for like an hour and ejaculated. I have been in this situation in the past as well, where I broke my streak like this after achieving a significant number of days. My past approach has been to ridicule myself and punish myself, but that doesn't work. This time, I decided to be more compassionate toward myself. I will forgive myself, and instead of resetting the counter to 0, I will set it to 37 and 1. I know in the upcoming days, the chaser effect will follow me. I will have strong urges, but I will try to keep myself away from all kinds of sexual stimulation. I will assess what led to this relapse. I need to design a strategy to instantly get out of my comfort zone whenever urges hit me. Noah, are there any suggestions that you would like to give me?" Yeah, I mean, even before I received this update, I could tell this was probably going to happen because I wasn't seeing him do anything really dramatically different from what he had done before. And if you keep doing the same things, you're going to keep getting the same results. So I've got to give you some tough love about that. It's time to really put in the work up front. And that is actually an easier path in the long run. If you put in work, investment, and time and energy and money in the beginning up front, and then you can get yourself to a good place, and maintaining that is a lot easier than getting there. But if you're not putting in 100% from the beginning, you're just going to keep struggling for months, for years, doing well for a while and then relapsing or binging, going back and needing to rebuild everything again. The upfront 100% commitment strategy is much easier, actually. Good luck to you, brother. I know it's been a while since even this update. I'm pretty slow at making videos these days. I hope you're doing well. If you want to send me another update, post a comment to this YouTube video and I'll pin it. Or send me an email if you want to be more personal. And for anyone else out there who's listening to this, for whom this story is familiar, look to those resources that I share down below. Know that this cycle doesn't have to control your life for the rest of your life. Have a wonderful porn-free week, everybody. I'll see you next time.